What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. Hopefully you guys like that last show, a debate about the flag, the monuments, all that stuff. I'm actually going to have a special guest. Yes, special guest today. We're going to be having Kory Graff of the Wall of Shame, and we're going to cover all types of topics here. All types. We're going to be covering the Wall of Shame, the police, Leo, what they're doing wrong, and we're even going to get into some more of the segment that I talked about regarding the flag, his thoughts on it. You know, because I like getting a lot of different thoughts on some of the subjects that we're going to be pushing ahead on. Of course, we'll have a little bit of biker news at the end of this segment. But we're really retooling stuff so we really get into some issues, not only, you know, the biker news, which is our main thing that we will be doing, so don't get misconstrued with some other stuff that we're going to be throwing in there. Actually, on the YouTube community tab, I asked people what else you want to throw in on the show, and there's been a lot of good stuff, that people want to see. So we're going to try to hit all that kind of stuff, you know, legislations on motorcycle stuff. And hey, Missouri, yeah, the governor finally eased some restrictions on that helmet law there. So check that out. Monday, 7, I think it's 21 or something like that on Monday at 8 a.m. Let me recheck that date because I really want you guys. It's the 20th, my fault, the 20th of July. That's next Monday, duh. We're going to have a kind of special on COVID-19 from a biker's perspective. You might want to look that up either on iTunes or Spotify. So that's coming up on the show. Hopefully you learn something because, again, there's a lot of stuff out on COVID-19 that, you know, people are saying, hey, it ain't real this, it ain't real that. Well, until you meet somebody with it and see just how bad it is. So first thing we're going to do today is, you know, Bagger Syndicate Cycle, they provide our hats. And, you know, the shirt I'm wearing right now, they provided. It's a biker-owned business, and I really like you guys to take a listen to Paulie and go over there and support the business. And when we come back, I'll get into the interview with Kory Graff.
Hi, this is Paul with Bagger Syndicate Cycles. We're Buffalo, New York. I'm sure you've seen us on the internet, Facebook, Instagram. Well, figure we do a little video here. Tell us about us. We do a little everything. Definitely about the hats, crazy hats for bikers, brotherhood. It interests everyone out there. So if you've ever been on our site, take a look. It's baggerssyndicatecycles.com. Great hats. Definitely a lifestyle hat. Shows you what you represent. And other people will definitely enjoy it also. So take a look. We're at most of the events. We try to get out to some of the big events every year. We can't hit them all, but we'll definitely be out in Phoenix, Arizona for Cave Creek Bike Week in October. So if you're out that way, we'll definitely have our stuff out there. But take a look. We cover men's, guys, lots of clothing, shirts, sweatshirts, muscle shirts. We do it all. So take a look at the site. Let us know what you think. If there's any kind of special logo, give us a shot. We can do custom work too. But most of our logos are set. They're on the website. But take a look. You'll love it. A lot of bartenders love them, tattoo enthusiasts. Anyone in the crazy lifestyle business, give us a shout. We'll help you out. Mass orders, whatever you got to do. Again, Paul from Bagger Syndicate Cycles. Check out the site, and we'll go from there.
Okay, we got a special guest. You know I got to bring a special guest on once in a while, especially after yesterday's debate. And hey, maybe he'll have a thought or two on that debate as well. I'm going to be bringing on Kory Graff. Yes, Kory Graff's Wall of Shame. He sends us stuff every day, it seems. Boy, there's no shortage of bad cops out there. But let's welcome Kory Graff, man. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Hey, man, you know, I first got to say thanks for bringing those articles to our attention. The Wall of Shame seems like it just grows and grows.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And it's funny is like whenever I send you these articles, like how many of them were saying that they knelt on somebody's neck? There's like almost a dozen of them, and it's just like, do you guys not learn? I mean, hello, anybody home?
You
You know
figured
what I
they'd
mean?
learn sometime, man.
Heck yeah, you know. Yeah, usually all I see is like either like domestic violence or assault, and then it's like something with sexual assault or things of that nature, or just misconduct. Usually that's what I see the most of.
Right.
Um,
There's some freaks, man, all the time with that sexual misconduct, man. It's always minors most of the time. Sick people, man. Sick people.
oh yeah, yes, absolutely. And I like I said, I have friends who are Leo, and because we all go to church together, and they uphold that badge, and because they know if they ever get out of line, I will call them out on it,
Mhm.
and they believe me, they don't want that happening.
Right. Well,
So I keep
I
them in
think
line.
one of the biggest reasons why I do the wall of shame is you got a lot of Leo. Everybody knows this. All they do is go around call, particular or certain motorcycle clubs gangs and that they're criminals. So I said, you know what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. For every crime that you're trying to say that, say, an outlaw one percenter club does, I can find three or four that you guys do just the same. And I can tell you, since we started the wall of
Exactly.
shame, boy, Leo ain't happy with me highlighting that.
Yeah. Well, they're probably not going to be happy with me either, but I don't really care. I mean, what I think is going to change things in this country is accountability. I mean, it's like if this goes for everybody, this goes for Leos and like even some motorcycle clubs. I mean, it's just, and the brothers that are in there, it's just like you guys got to hold each other accountable for everybody's actions, because if you guys don't, I mean, none of this is really going to change.
Right, right. What do you think about how things are being handled in the media in regards to these protests against and for cops?
Well, I will say this, that if you're sitting out there peacefully protesting, and that's your right, and great job for keeping it peaceful. But when it comes to rioting and looting, I have an issue with that, because small businesses are hurting bad enough because of COVID-19. It's like, leave the businesses alone. You know what I'm saying? And with the way the media is putting it out, and they're talking about defunding the police and stuff like that. Honestly, dude, I really don't think that that's going to solve anything at all, because I mean, especially like you talked about New York, where it's the highest target rating in the U.S. I mean, that's not going to solve anything. I mean, and these cops, I mean, they need to either hold them to a higher standard, or they need to train them better. I mean, that's just all there is to it. Because, I mean, yeah, I understand that cops are imperfect people, and but they're like, with the wall of shame, there are some things that you really messed up, and there's some things that are just not acceptable. Period. And so I think with the way the media runs our country, which is sad. I mean, I try to stay away from the media just because, I it's just depressing. I mean, especially with this COVID stuff. I mean, you don't know what's what
Right.
half the time.
Well, unless I'm actually going to be doing a special on Monday about COVID-19 from some bikers' perspectives. We're going to have a special guest on, or actually, I took some questions and sent it to him. He gave me answers, and I'm going to read those. So don't misinterpret that,
Yeah, I did
people.
see that.
But, facts are something that the media refuses to give now. It depends on which
Exactly.
way they view things, and that's sad.
Exactly. I
Well,
mean, I have I think, like you said, for everything that they think an outlaw motorcycle club does, we can find easily. I can find about six things that they're doing wrong, and I think just with the way things are going now, it's just that like I said, we need to come together and uh, figure out a solution, because what they're doing right now obviously isn't working.
Right. Well, another thing that's real funny when it comes to Leo, they'll always say, "Well, there's more of us than there are of them." It don't matter. You guys took a freaking constitutional oath to serve and protect and uphold that oath. But you guys, and this goes towards the blue wall. You guys let this stuff happen. You're actually breaking your oath by protecting these type of people and not reporting it or arresting them.
Exactly.
I think that's a sad state of affairs, and I think Leo right now, I don't back this. Everybody heard in the last segment I did. I don't back BLM. I believe they're a far left anarchist type of organization. Yeah, it might have started off good, but it ain't, what people are thinking. There's a lot of financial stuff going into that organization, and a lot of socialist ideals are behind that.
Oh yeah.
But they really got away from what that was all supposed to be about. Like I said in the thing, I was one of the first and said, dude, got his knee on his neck, man. What happened to that Floyd character, regardless of his past, didn't need to go down like that. And yeah, somebody needed to be held responsible for that. But I think Leo are finally figuring out. People are getting, sick and tired of the way some of their antics are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what I think also needs to be held accountable too is the justice system itself. Because if, let's say, like when Derek Chauvin goes to trial, and they deem him not guilty, I predict this. It's going to be like 1992 with Rodney King, only it's going to be 10 times worse, and where the Bloods and the Crips are going to unite, and they're just going to riot everything.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that's what's going to happen if he gets found not guilty.
Well, if they get found not guilty, I think, that's going to be the spark that lit the Second Civil War right there. The plans are already being laid down by the leftists, and now you got rightists. They're coming out saying, you know what, enough's enough of this crap. You got even bikers out there now, which was surprising, is the bikers got out there before the 3%ers did. And the bikers ain't having it either, man. They're getting sick and fed up of this stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, they have every right to be, because, like I said in, previous comments on YouTube, it's just like, there may have been bad apples in biker clubs, but that does not represent the club as a whole. I have friends who are outlaws down here, and some of them, they're the nicest people in the world, and but it's just like, if you cross them, they'll kick your butt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's one of those things where if it shouldn't reflect on the entire club. Like, really, honestly, we're talking about this, where I love Mongol Nation, and where they're trying to take that patch, the federal government is. It's like, okay, so they're trying to take their patch, but they're not trying to take anybody else's. I believe that's kind of selective, in my opinion.
Mm.
And it's just like, haven't some other clubs done far worse?
Well, some would say that's selective enforcement based on ethnicity. A lot of the Mongols are Hispanic, and that's what they've been arguing, is that they're being targeted because of that.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that. And like I said, like I've also said in other previous segments, it's like, you shouldn't look at a person's skin color. You should look at their heart and their mind. And you're going to have bad apples in this world, but it's just how you deal with them is how, this world is going to be either fixed, or if it's just going to go down the drain. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, back to the Mongols thing, a lot of it has to do with their Hispanic and stuff and profiling. But, according to, and I'm going to get a bit back into what I was talking about on last segment, is I understand, the blacks, how they feel. I got listeners that are black, and I know how they feel, but you cannot keep using what happened, what is it, over 150 or 200 years ago, and use that as an excuse today.
Exactly. I mean, because that nowadays, they have a lot more freedoms than they did back in those days. And I listened to another channel, Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Shannon Sharp was talking about how African Americans, they went and fought in World War One and World War Two, and to try to end the segregation, and they came home and were treated nowhere near as good as when the white people came back, and that's just pretty sad in my opinion, because I mean they put their lives on the line for America. They should have been treated the same.
Well, everybody should be treated like a human being. But one thing,
exactly.
and like I was talking about yesterday, is a lot of people in 2020, they want to look at history in their eyes, in their time, their values, the whole nine yard. History wasn't like that, man. You got to put yourself, say in 1861, the way that environment was, the way society was then. I get it. I had a comment on the YouTube channel about the video I just did, and they were talking about it wasn't northern aggression, which if they knew their history, they know it would be, and stop with the MSM bullshit, and actually dig deep into the conflict instead of what the History Channel or National Geographic has to say. They can learn that stuff. But the biggest thing with them is reparations. We should get, dude. You weren't even there. You didn't know anybody there.
Exactly.
You know what? You are pushing the racism is what I think's going on. I think there was the racism wasn't as bad up to Obama Biden, but they started it out, and now we got that far left Democratic Party doing this crap, and it's just exploiting it even more. But to say that white people are this and that, they're racist if they don't believe this, I don't. You know what? I'm a hardcore Peckerwood, so it is what it is. Call me what you want,
right?
But to try to tear down history, you know what? You're foolish.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and like you said in the last segment, it's like we need history to remind ourselves that we don't want to go back to that particular time. And whenever I learned about slavery and what happened with them, it was cruel, no doubt about it. And I mean, I would never want somebody to go through that. I mean, that's just not okay. And
it isn't okay, but at the same time, that was, what I try to explain to people, that was the period. And slavery goes back to, 10,000 years, before BC, and it still continues today. I think my point is you can't keep using that as this is why I'm failing.
Right. Right. Absolutely. You're just head on or hammer on the nail with that one, man. I mean, I completely agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And, really honestly, I really wish for everybody, I mean, that racism didn't exist, that, they see the heart in the mind versus the color of the skin. And, I mean, hell, I mean, some of the greatest actors, athletes that we ever knew were of a different color.
Right.
Samuel L. Jackson, Jackie Robinson, Denzel Washington, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Those were phenomenal people. And, that just shows that, also, we have racism in the world, but at the same time, rise above that. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what those people you said did. Exactly what you just said those people did. You talking about Jackie Robinson, man, he had it hardcore, especially when he went down south. But he rose above it and didn't throw excuses out there.
Exactly.
And I think, I might be coming on a little more hard in this segment I think it's because some of the comments I seen on that show that was like, really, man, you're blaming this guy, this guy. It's not us pulling the damn trigger on the west side or the south side. It's just not us.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's time for a poignant, hardcore conversation as to, okay, this is what is happening. Why is it happening? Your thoughts?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the 60 people that got in Chicago, or however many it was. I mean, that I don't know what was that on the south side or the west side.
It was west and south.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's just absolutely unacceptable. And I know that's I've never been to Chicago, by the way, as many years as I've lived in Illinois. But I hope that, or I'm thinking that, that was a very diverse area. And, that's just unacceptable because, I mean,
actually, the west and south side is mainly black.
Yeah.
I call it, no offense. I call it zombie land, no offense, but you got the hair. Yeah, it's just nasty. Go ahead.
Yeah, but when you say, like, Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, quit having black-on-black crime. And, and I think that, as much as I probably hate to say this or may not know what I'm talking about, but I think drugs have really been a lot of that because, they're trying to claim a territory, and it's just like, I'm dealing drugs here, don't mess with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, that shouldn't be at all exist. I mean, we, like me, I get up at 2:30 in the morning and, go to work and, I try to live an honest living. And honestly, I think every person should be trying to do that because honestly, like whenever I know whenever I was unemployed, I was just going nuts, and I don't see how those people do it because I mean, I want to make an honest living for myself, and it shouldn't be all about crime, and it shouldn't be about whatever. It should be about making this neighborhood safe and making, having something to be proud of for your future kids or grandkids or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Making it positive.
Well, I think the first step is you got to care about yourself before you ask other people to care about you. You got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps before you can, have somebody else there to do it for you. I think it's the family union. The family unit is destroyed in modern times. You don't have fathers around anymore taking care or whooping that ass. Or, you got the government working against you where you can't do this or that to your kid. And that's the problems you now have in, and I'm talking about the city of Chicago. I know this is happening all over New York. Their gun crime rate went up 150% already. You got it in L.A. in the crappy neighborhoods. It's always the urban areas, man, that it's happening. But, I think it was a good discussion to get out, get both sides of the story on the way he felt, the way I felt. And again, we're split. He wants to see the monuments gone where, there's no damn way with me. It's like, you're serious. They don't understand what they're doing is, because you got this Antifa stuff going on. Anti-fascist they claim, but they're the ones going around tearing down monuments and all that stuff. That's fascism right on its, face right there. It's where you can see it. And I compared them to ISIS. A lot of people got upset about that, but that's exactly what ISIS was doing all over the Middle East, was tearing down everything that they could find to try to wipe it out. I get it. Some people use the stars and bars as a hate symbol, but that's not what the majority of people look at that as. It's a flag of rebellion, and it's a flag of state rights. And I think the liberal-minded teachers, which I think destroyed this country, indoctrinate the kids and let them go. are the ones that push that type of stuff, and the people who don't have the brains to go out there and do history and research, they don't know it.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I mean, and it's funny that you talk about teachers. It's like, whenever I was in school, if I had a history class, it was 85 minutes long, and it's even some places it's like 45 minutes long. It's like you do that for what 90 days. And it's like that's not really enough time to really even learn fully about American history. It's really not.
Well, they don't even teach
And I think
civics. They don't teach civics
exactly.
anymore. You're talking about teachers, man. The LA Teacher Union just now set demands that they want, defunding the police, restoration, all that stuff before they open the schools. What the hell does that have to do with teaching our kids? It's
Exactly.
like
And
parents got to step up now. Go ahead.
exactly. And you talk about LAPD, and whenever I years ago thought about becoming a police officer because I wanted to uphold the badge and uphold the honors, and because like one of my core values for me personally is integrity. My favorite Bible verse is Proverbs 28:18, and the starting salary for LAPD is only about 60,000 a year, and whenever you talk about we talk about bad apples and Leos and uh, things of that nature. I'm thinking, these cops are thinking, heck, I don't get paid enough to do this crap,
Mm-hmm.
and like that could be maybe a reason. I mean, we don't know, but I mean, that's kind of sad.
Well, what do you think about his comment about, it's a war zone and they took on the responsibility? The guys on the street don't have to play by the rules, but they do. What do you think about that statement?
I think it's a catch 22. It's just like if the way I see it is like if you're doing the right thing on the streets and you ain't breaking the law or you ain't hurting nobody, Leo will probably leave you alone. But it also at the same time, it's just like Leo needs to do their part and uphold the badge as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say it's a catch-22.
Well, what do you, what's your thoughts on it? Because mine was like, well, they're in the south and west side. It's mostly a black neighborhood, and you got a lot of people that are from that neighborhood saying, well, I'm being profiled this, I'm being profiled that, which as a biker, I understand that. Some cops do that. But when you're in a crime-ridden neighborhood, I'm talking it's bad. Go to Lawndale or something like that, or some of the old freaking projects over there, and it is a war zone. That's why it's called Chirac. And that's what those are the people that live there is the blacks, and here are the cops. And everybody knows that I'm not really a friend of Leo. Here they are trying to figure out who shot here and who shot there. Of course, they're going to pull over blacks. Am I correct?
Yeah, I would say so. And and the bad thing is like where I think a lot of it may have to do with it's just like I've heard on the streets snitches get stitches, but I think also to stop what's going on, they need to all work together because, I mean, I'm sorry, but if it was somebody that I was very close to that, got shot and killed, I would want to see justice for them. And that's where I think you need to do it by any means, or not necessarily by any means necessary, but going to the point where you don't get yourself in trouble as well. I believe there's a fine line in there. And, I think the Leo also needs to approach them with respect and also find out what those people know and not discriminate, if that makes any sense.
Right. Well, discrimination on any level is crap. I've always believed, well, if you bleed red, you're a human freaking being. But I do know that, just like blacks, there's whites that are freaking, we can go, I can't even say that word because we're freaking get censored. But, everybody has its bad apples. But unfortunately, for the black community, they have a lot of black on black crime. And like I said earlier, first you got to care about yourself before somebody else is going to care about you. You can't use what happened during the first Civil War in today's modern times saying that's why you can't get by, or that's why we're poor, or this is reason why the neighborhood's bad. You can't do that. In life owes you nothing at all. You know what? We live in the greatest country in the world, and you have the ability to make your own way. You got to do it on your own. And I think right now, I think we're in a soft civil war right now. There's three stages. First, it's the politics, then it's the media, the protest, and finally a spark flies. And like I said, and like you said, if this thing gets going with Floyd and these cops are let off, I think that's going to be the spark that lights us because we're so polarized now. I don't think there's an ability to bring both sides together at this point. I think the spark's going to have to happen to bring this country back together.
I would have to agree with that, it's sad that it has to come to that point because I think it could have been fixed years ago, and it never did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was after probably around, I would say after mid to late 70s. From there until like Obama got elected. I rarely, well, of course, I wasn't born until '92, but we rarely heard about racism.
Mm-hmm. Well, the only thing that older that I heard, yes, Chicago's been segregated. It's always been that way. It's like I said, it was intended to be that way. But everybody stuck to their own deal. It's kind of like prison, man. You stick with the whites. The whites are whites, blacks, Hispanics, or Hispanic white. It's just the way it always was. But you know what I think it was the proliferation of cable news and stuff. And instead of reporting the news, they got down to ideology. But I do want to swing it back before we get done here with the wall of shame and Leo and all that stuff. What's some of the stuff you look at before you send it over?
Well, I look at if they're arrested, that's the first thing. And then the second thing is I look at the crime, and then the second, or then the last thing I look at is like, what's the severity of the crime and what actually happened, that sort of thing. And I read through the article and then send it up to you.
Rock on. Well, that's something I really appreciate, man. You send them over, and it's like, damn, that's a good one. Yeah, damn, that's a good one. Man, Leo looks like real crap in this one. That's kind of how I look at it because what I do with my articles, and people don't know this when I cover it, I find I get a generalization of what it's going to be about, but I don't dive too deep into the article until I'm actually on the show. That way, my reaction is this, and my thoughts are out there. It's on beef. They're not made up. It's real. And, people can see the article same time I'm seeing it. So a lot of stuff you send over is like, damn, man, holy crap, and they wonder why people are pissed at them. But, wow. But I do really appreciate you helping the show out and stuff like that. That's real cool of you. You're actually, getting the word out there to people, and countering what Leo says about a lot of bikers, and that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And that's, and I think it's also showing that, Leo needs to be held accountable, too. If we need to be held accountable to obey the law, they need to be as well.
I totally agree, man. Boy, that was a good one, Kory. And of course, I'm going to have you back on the show, man, because it's great to talk to you. I bet after this little segment. I'm going to be having everybody who wants to come on the show and call me this and call me that. Boy, have I been called more racist and a freaking bigot for the last 2 weeks than I ever have in the rest of my life. But again, it's truth and facts that you got to put out there, and not the spin. And hopefully people start wising up.
Oh yeah, and actually, before we end, Shosh the Ghost, with Demons Row TV, I talked about him. Actually, whenever he posted, not this video that he posted today, but last Wednesday, I guess he got unfollowed or hidden on Facebook or something like that because he was stating the facts. And it's just like, okay, so we live in a society now where if you're dishonest, you're great. And it's just like, that is just completely messed up. I mean, that's just wrong. And
each creator, and I know what he's going through, because YouTube does something called throttling us down, where they won't show our stuff. People don't know when we post new material, even though they hit the notification tab. That's why radio is our wheelhouse, because we're not really censored on radio. That's our own deal. That's where we pay for stuff. The YouTube and the Facebook for us, yeah, we got a big Facebook following, but at the same time, at any minute, they can shut us down. That's why we stick to radio and our own website type of stuff. One of these days, maybe he'll come on the show, and I know Black Dragon has. Me and Black Dragon have back and forth all the time, but that's what this country needs, is back and forth all the time. Because he's on one side, I'm on the other side, and I think the audience really gets a feel for, both sides of the story.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man.
So I wanted to bring you on and say I appreciated having you here, and again, you'll be on there, man. I'll reach out to you and say, hey, man, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? That's pretty cool stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm going to have to come up to Chicago one of these days, man, for the first time.
Let me know, man. I'll take you around the city. You'll like it, man. Chicago is the best city on earth, but it's the most corrupt, too, with politicians. And it's a sad thing because Chicago is so great. But with that, Kory, man, I really appreciate having you on the show. And it was a good conversation, man. Look forward to the next one.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me.
Rock and roll, man. I'll talk to you later, bud.
Yep, talk to you later.
All right, man. All right, that was Kory Graff. Wall of Shame fame, baby. We're going to do some listener call-ins, and then we're going to get into my final thoughts about the program today. Don't forget to visit Bagger Syndicate Cycles. Yes, man. Get out there and support an independent biker-owned business instead of these damn corporations. Help your own out. It'd be great if you do. News, AWTNH.com. I wanted to throw a little bit of news in here today on this show. I know me and Kory went for quite a bit, but it was a great conversation, I believe. Motorcyclists hold birthday biker parade for North Carolina girl battling leukemia. Let's take a listen.
Throughout the country because of the coronavirus pandemic, motorcyclists in North Carolina held a notable one on Saturday. It was a birthday party for a little girl battling leukemia. Firefighters, police also joining in. Others to make her smile were there and raise money for her recovery. Little Charlotte is the birthday girl. You just saw her there. She's only 2 years old. The parade organizer says this is personal.
I'm very passionate about this because my son passed away from complications of a bone marrow transplant at 15 months old. So anytime that I can help someone else that's in this situation, I'm all for it. So when the mom reached out to me and said that Charlotte wanted a motorcycle parade, we had to step up.
And that they did. In the end, the bikers were able to present them with a sizable check and, of course, memories that will last a life.
That is awesome, man, right there. Motorcycle parade. I love it, man. That is awesome. Great stuff right there. The stuff that bikers do that don't get noticed a lot of times in the media. But let's go to Kory Graff's Wall of Shame. No thanks, I don't want notifications from you. Fox2now.com, a former University of Illinois police officer, yes, arrested for sexual assault. Go figure. Didn't I say that earlier? It's just a few crimes. And yeah, Kevin S. held Champaign, Illinois. That's where, that's a big university. That's a party town down there. The Illinois State Police is seeking the public's help in locating potential victims of a former college police officer accused of sexual assault. It's like these guys can't get laid on their own. Always trying to take it. But they'll take him, too, in the joint. Anyway, state police arrested 48-year-old Gerald Jerry Sandage, who worked at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Sandage was charged with 5 counts of criminal sexual assault, 1 count of criminal sexual abuse, and 2 counts of intimidation. He remains jailed on $3 million bond in Piatt County. Yeah, he ain't getting out. That's what, $300,000 that he's going to have to come up with? Investigators recently determined Sandage frequently traveled and stayed in Nashville, Tennessee area and are checking to see if he may have committed crimes in that area. Anyone with information on the case is asked to contact Illinois State Police Criminal Division of Investigation, 815-844-1500. And yes, there is the picture of the sadist rapist, man. That's what I'm going to call you guys from now on. Unreal. Gerald Jerry Sandage is now in the Wall of Shame, you pervert putz. Good luck in the joint. That's what I have to say to you.
Okay, Hollywood, I'll try to be funny. Hey, the simple fact is, most of these protesters and these left-wingers, they don't know anything about history. Why do you think they're dumping statues on people that supported the cause? You know, this whole thing boils down to some rogue police officers doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. Now, that doesn't mean that we should chastise the whole group. I think we should strengthen our police forces and add billions of dollars to them, but make sure they get proper training and on how to handle people without hurting everybody or having some kind of a prejudice or whatever. You know, they need to know this. But the other thing is, you know, slavery ended 100 years ago. Give me a break. Do I care about the stars on the Confederate flag? You know, the only thing I care about with that is it represents our history. No matter how many of these monuments that you destroy, you are not going to change history. And you know what? Robert E. Lee was a gentleman and a scholar. When he got together with Grant, they had agreements to try to end things peacefully and amicably. That's why the South was allowed to retain their statehood in most cases. So, you know, and these people, it's a mob mentality. They have no idea. Are so clueless when it comes to American history and civics. Just forget about it, man, because, you know, you can tout all the facts and everything you want. You know, I have the privilege of being a Frenchman. I mean, we despise everybody equally, and my family wasn't even in this country during the Civil War. So, you know, I'll take a pass on that idea, but you know what? If you want to fly the Confederate flag, that's your right as a citizen. Somebody wants to give you a dirty look because of that, tell them to go jump in the river. So
There, yeah, that's our listener call-ins. If you want to leave your thoughts just like that and get them played on the show, basically what I can tell you is hold off on the swearing and stuff, you know, because the other platforms do get this, and some of them platforms do not like that stuff, and, you know, they throttle us down on who can hear it and stuff like that. So leave your thoughts on the hotline, 847-957-1686. Hey, let me know what you guys think on a specific subject. If I'm, let me know if I'm a putt, something like that. But get involved in the show. That only makes it better and gets the conversations going. Like I said, if you go over to the YouTube community tab, you can put your thoughts on what you'd like to see or hear on the show, and I will try to get that. My final thoughts, what a great conversation with Kory Graff. that was. A lot of interesting topics going back and forth, with the topics, but, you can tell the agreement, that we had together. But again, with the show I did yesterday, that was somebody that was a different ethnicity, and they're coming at it from their point of view. And that's what I like doing on this show, is giving, if there's a debate, we got to give both sides a debate. It ain't going to be one of these debates where, hey, we're going to go softball and stuff. No, that never gets anything done. And it's no good, even debating if you're not going to get both sides out there. So, yes, I'm coming up with a different way where we're not talking over each other and kind of make it easier to follow than the last one was. But again, this week we talked about the stars and bars, and, hopefully next week we're going to be talking about COVID-19 and that from a biker's viewpoint, and why bikers should be taking this serious without all the conspiracy theories. Put that stuff aside and let's try to open our minds up. But anyway, don't forget to visit us on Instagram. Yes, I'm on Instagram. You get a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes that you won't see anywhere else. Of course, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, all that stuff. Take us to work with you. Or on the bike, man. We got episodes down the yin-yang, so there's something for everybody there. With that, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to like the videos if you're on YouTube and Facebook, and share us on your social media tab, man. I'd appreciate it.
I say goodbye, vamoose,
See ya.
adios, ciao, so long, get your hat gang.
Now available on Spotify and all major platforms, including iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, and more. Don't forget to become a subscriber on any one of these platforms so you can be notified right away when our weekly episode is uploaded, so you never miss an episode.
Hi, this is James Hollywood Machikari. Join our YouTube channel and get Motorcycle Madhouse and tons of videos related to the bikers. Join now by subscribing for free and become part of the Throttle today. Always free and always entertaining. Don't forget to visit us at www.harleyliberty.com for your daily biker news. Rock on!